I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving. Today I thought you could come along and have a bit of laugh at my expense by watching me wrestle with my Instant Pot to make some yoghurt. So I thought making my own yoghurt would be a lot cheaper than buying the tubs of Greek yoghurt that I enjoy buying. And it's not so bad if I buy them from Lidl or Aldi, but I don't always get there, and the Co-op is quite expensive for that kind of thing. So I thought you could have a little look whilst I experimented with my Instant Pot. And I have to say, the Instant Pot is one of my guilty purchases in that I spent money on it. I bought it with some birthday money or some vouchers or something, I can't remember, but about two years ago, probably a year and a half ago at least. And I've barely used it. This is the second time I've used it. And I think the reason I haven't used it, and it's a waste of money, basically, is that I find it so bewildering. It's completely alien looking to me. It seems very complicated and faffy, and so I haven't really bothered to properly spend the time getting to know how it works and taking advantage of all the various functions that it's got in it. Plus, I think because I use my air fryer so much, I mean, that was a really good purchase, my Ninja air fryer. I use that pretty much every day. So I think because I'm so happy just using that and then just using the stove top that I can't, but there's no impetus for me to really spend the time doing it. So I just haven't. And it's sat there, it's gathered dust. Every now and then I look at it, feel guilty. It looks at me accusingly, and I don't use it. And I thought, well, the other day I thought, well, I'm going to make some yogurt. I know it's got a yogurt function. Let's explore a recipe online. So I found a recipe, and it's not really a recipe because yogurt is yogurt. And I thought I'd have a go. Now, I have made yogurt before. I've made yogurt. I went through a phase probably 10 years ago where I made yogurt constantly. But then I realised I was lactose intolerant, and so I stopped using the yogurt maker I had at the time, which was an Easy Yo yogurt maker. And if you haven't come across those, they aren't electric. It's just basically it's a pot with a lid about this sort of size, and it has an insulated bit. And from what I remember, you poured warm water into the bit outside, and then you put another pot inside with your starter and your milk. And it was really easy to use, but because I was lactose intolerant and I think I tried it with the lactose-free milk and it didn't work. So I don't know what I did wrong, but it didn't work. I thought it would be the same, and it just came out really sloppy and pointless. So I gave up, and I never used it again. After a few years of not being used, I gave it away to somebody. So I kind of wish I still had that now, because now I know you can strain yogurt and it's got less lactose in it. So I didn't know that at the time. So I gave it away, but I've got this Instant Pot. But you know, I found the whole process, frankly, a bit faffy. And well, let me just show you. If I show you how I got up to, you can decide and see whether you thought it was kind of worth the effort. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at making yoghurt in my Instant Pot. I just swished it out with boiling water, and now I'm adding I'm just going to do a litre just to try it out first. Boil your milk first. This needs to be on vent. Okay, so I literally don't know what I'm doing. I couldn't find my manual, so I just had to look it up online. So it says just hit yogurts, pasteurise and start. So got to get down to pasteurise. No, don't want ferment. Pasteurise. And then just start. So it's heating it. It's preheating it. Don't know how long this is going to take. I don't have to add the culture yet. I need to warm the milk first. So let's just see how long that takes and leave it, and I'll come back to it later. Okay, so I was off cleaning and forgot all about this, and it beeped, and I don't know how hot it got, and then it went cold again, so I've had to bring it back up to temperature. Well, I hope so. The recipe I'm using says the magic temperature that you need to get to is 180. Sorry, no, it's not 180 at all, just made that up. It's 83. Using my old jam thermometer, which I have cleaned up. It's up to 60. Oh, and it's really hot. You can see it's steaming, so you have to get it to 83, and then you have to allow it to cool back to 40 something, and then you add your starter, because if you add your starter when it's hot, it will kill the cultures, so you don't want that. So the other thing is, I'm hoping my starter will be okay, because it's just Greek yogurt, which is live, so, but it's not proclaiming itself to be live natural yogurt, but it is, so let's hope it works. Otherwise the whole thing will be a waste and I'll turn it into custard or something. What have we got to? Not quite there yet. So if it doesn't reach it, I'm not quite sure how to get it higher. I'll have to put it on a different setting, I think. She says she does hers on like saute, just to bring it up. And I do have a saute button, so if it doesn't come up to 83, I will attempt that until it brings it up to 83 degrees. It's not quite getting there. I think it's actually stuck at just below 80. So let's give it another go then. Okay, so let's try, cancel this one and try saute. Well, that's 18 minutes high. I don't think it'll need to be 18 minutes. I'll just do it for a couple of minutes, let's see. Fabulous filming as usual. Let's see what happens. So the sauteing has done the trick. It's just at 83. So I'm going to take it out now and cool it down, cover it over with a tea towel, clean tea towel, cool it down a bit, and then come back to it later and add my culture. So it's now cooled down to below 46. So I'm going to take the skin off, whisk in the starter, and then stick it back in the Instant Pot. So it really is the blind leading the blind here. So I've just hit ferment 8 hours, and I'm going to start. And then let's just see what happens and if I can make yogurt. It seems a bit of a faff doing it in the Instant Pot so far, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the yogurt's just beeped at me, and it's definitely thickish. Wouldn't say it's really thick. Just had a taste, and it's definitely yogurt. Leave it to cool now. So it's the next day now. I actually strained this through a clean cotton tea towel because I didn't have any kind of muslin around, so I did it overnight, strained it a bit. So it's not really thick, like really thick Greek yogurt, but it's gone much thicker because it was a bit, I don't know, it was a bit separated. I'll have a little taste. It's made a very nice, mild yogurt, so it's really nice. I would say, I haven't actually measured it, I should have measured it. That looks like more to me than, it's a big bowl, more than would come in the usual yogurt pot, so probably 1.5 times I would say. So in terms of being cheap or not, the milk cost me £1.30, didn't it? And the yogurt normally for one 500 gram pot costs £2.30, I think. Varies, depends where you buy it for Greek yogurt. Anyway, this isn't obviously proper Greek yogurt, but it does taste very nice. So yes, quite pleased with that. I'll do it again. I think the Instant Pot doesn't make it, I don't know if I'd bother boiling the milk in the Instant Pot. Let's do this. So I wouldn't do that bit. I think I would boil the milk just on the pan really quickly on the stove, and then stick it in for the fermenting bit in the Instant Pot. Oh, it's gone quite dark today. I've got the lights on in here and in the kitchen. It's been so sunny for so long you start to take it for granted, and it's got a bit cooler as well. Last night was quite chilly. We are used to having the door open for quite a long while into the evening and the windows, and we had to close both, and Justin was under a blanket. Actually, we don't keep the door open well into the evening now because little Lola keeps bringing in mice, so that's a good reason to close the door before she can do her night hunting. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is have some of the yogurt that I made for my breakfast and try it out properly. So yes, the yogurt looks quite lumpy, but reasonably thick, you know, and it tastes quite mild. It's not as thick as Greek yogurt. I'm going to have to get a proper piece of muslin for that. I did think I had a strainer that I used for making like jellies from like berries and things like that, but I don't know what I've done with it. I think it may have got so grubby I've just thrown it away, and then I haven't made any since. So that is something I want to do. So I'll invest in some more jelly strainers, which I could use for this, or some muslin pieces. So the plan for this is I've got half an apple, just going to grate it up. I quite like grated apple on my yogurt or my cereal or whatever in the morning. So I tend not to eat many apples unless either I slice them up thinly and dip them into peanut butter and eat them, or I do this, or I cook them. I like them cooked. I should probably have peeled this first. Let's take some of the peel off. It's a bit tough. I find too much apple peel gives me indigestion as well, so another good reason to get rid of it. A little bit of core, and the little bit of peel I took off can go in the compost. So I need some more fruit. We seem to have got through the fruit at a rate of knots. So that's going onto my yogurt. And I've got very few blueberries. They can go onto my yogurt. So see, we've got through so much fruit since I went shopping in Morrison's the other day. I don't know why we're eating so much fruit, but I guess it's better than just eating chocolate. Although I have to say, we'll be eating the chocolate too. I've got pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. I kind of make a sort of granola. This is from when I did keto, and I really enjoy this breakfast. And then just a load of mixed nuts. And that's quite a substantial healthy breakfast. So if you wanted to at that point, you could add a nice spoonful of honey. I'll taste it first and see. I don't think it's going to need any honey because I think it's really quite mild. Let's lift you up a bit. There I am, slightly at a weird angle. A very weird angle. Anyway, let's give it a try. Just yogurt. Don't know what I was expecting. Can't go wrong with a yogurty breakfast. This will be nice on some actual granola, wouldn't it? I don't want to talk with my mouth full, but it's hard not to. The other thing I'm going to put on, forgot about that. I've got some desiccated coconut that's been hanging around a while. So I'm going to use that up. I always like that in my breakfast as well. I want to order some more coconut flakes so I can make some little chocolate coconut tower things that I have made before on here. Anyway, my plan for today, it's actually raining, amazing now. My plan for today is to get to the charity shop finally. Now it's been over a week since Isabel moved out of her flat. I've still got her stuff in the back of my car. I've since collected more of Mum's stuff in the back of my car. And I cleaned yesterday, and as I went, I was just decluttering bits in my bid to say what I said in my last video about just not letting yourself collect up so much rubbish that you just don't need. So bits and pieces have gone as I've gone round, and I sorted out my bookshelf because I've got lots of books on there that I like, but you know, I'm not going to read them again realistically, and if I really ever want to, I'll just borrow them from the library. All right, it's good to pass things on, isn't it? So I cleared out the books. I've got 2 carrier bags of books, and they've got to go. They're sitting in the hallway right now, ready to go in the car, and I'm going to actually go to one of the big donation centres because the smaller ones are going to be overwhelmed by the whole boot full of stuff I think I've got in my car. So I'll do that very soon, because I know that it always gets really busy over there and parking is quite tricky and I need to be able to park nearby. So that's the plan. Better get on with that. Then I'm going to come back and hoover the lounge, actually, because I did hoover everything and then I ran out of steam and Archie and Justin came back, and you can't hoover with Archie because he's not that he's scared of the hoover. I think he feels that he needs to defend you from the hoover. So as soon as it starts, he attacks it and bites it, which means that we don't hoover as much as we need to because one of us has to be out of the house. So it's quite annoying. I've also just heard this morning that Mum is going to need to be with us for a whole month. So she's most of the month, because my sister's got various arrangements and things going on. So we think it could take another 9 weeks before her flat is ready, which is disappointing for her and difficult for her in our house because we haven't got a shower and she really can't get in the bath. So whilst she's here, she's just going to have strip washes. None of us have got showers. So this is the thing, nobody in the family's got a shower. I can't even take her around somebody else's house. So, but then maybe we'll go to the leisure centre at some point a couple of times, because we have talked about going to do a little girly spa day. She said she would like to take me to a spa day to say thank you for all my help. So that's in the leisure centre. We could go and do that and obviously have a shower there. So we could do that once and then maybe just use the shower another time as well if she needs to do that. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, so I've been sorting out the spare room as well, because it gets full of things like coat hangers and my ironing pile and bits of stuff that need listing. And if she's going to be there for that long, she needs a bit of space. So I've had to find homes for other things. So it's clear. And we've decided we're going to bring back her TV and get it set up there. So I'm really hoping I can. It's a smart TV, so it should theoretically connect to the internet. And our internet is good now, so it should do it. But we'll have to do it and just see if we need an Ethernet cable, I think. Sometimes you do, don't you? So we'll see. Even if we can just so she has a little bit of space, and if we are watching TV and we don't want to watch the same things, or as happens with Mum, she's a bit deaf, so she'll turn it up really loud and we're all like, our ears are bleeding. So if there's something like that going on, we can suggest that she perhaps watches it upstairs. But yeah, so I'm trying to get myself together, get my head in gear for that. And we'll get there, won't we? We'll get there. Let's just hope the solicitor is not as slow. The reason it's going to take so long is because we've decided to upgrade the lease as well at the same time, because it hasn't got a very long lease on it. And we don't want a problem like further down the line when Mum passes and we've got this flat to sell with a very short lease. So it's only going to be another few weeks. So we've decided between us that it's probably worth extending the lease whilst we are there. So yeah, anyway, more stuff to think about. Anyway, going to eat my breakfast, get off to the charity shop. So I hope it gave you a laugh, me being so incompetent. As I said in the video, I used to have the Easy yogurt maker, and that was very much easier. But it just occurred to me, I remember when I've mentioned years ago, I worked in a vegetarian restaurant in London, and one of the things that they used to do there, and we used to do it every evening before we went actually, was make the yogurt for the next day. But it was takeaway, because it was a restaurant, but it was also in the middle of London, and you got a lot of commuters coming in to buy their lunch, and they would take away these little pots of yogurt. I mean, they made them in polystyrene cups with lids, which obviously I wouldn't want to do that at home because it's just completely unrecyclable. At the time, I don't think there was really any awareness of that. And so that was obviously a self-insulating container. And all we did was put a bit of starter in each pot, boil milk, mix it, and this was their secret ingredient, with a bit of evaporated milk, and it made it really rich and delicious, I have to say. And it was set quite firm as well with that. Put the lids on, and we'd come in the next day and it would be ready to go in the fridges, and it was really good, really nice. So I'm going to experiment with that. But it just occurs to me that, well, that was literally the insulation, was the polystyrene. You don't need an Instant Pot. You don't even need an Easy Yo or any kind of other yogurt pot. All you need is a container where you can boil the milk, have it warm, put your starter in, as I did, and then insulate it. So I actually have a Wonder bag. I was thinking, well, I could put it in the Wonder bag, although that's probably a bit excessively big for a small pot of yogurt. Or you could just wrap it in an old duvet, or wrap it in a load of towels, or just keeping that temperature is probably the important thing to get the culture working. So I don't think you have to buy any special equipment. You could use a jam jar, whatever containers you've got. You don't have to spend money on it, is my point. So I think I will try it again without the Instant Pot. Well, the other thing I haven't mentioned is that it kind of, even though there was no heat coming from the bottom of the Instant Pot, it kind of stuck to the bottom when I was scraping it out, and it meant it went a little bit lumpy. So that was one of the reasons I strained it, that and the fact that I felt it was a little bit too thin. So that's the other thing. You wouldn't get that. I don't normally get that with other containers. If you wanted to make it thicker as well, you could experiment with maybe adding some powdered milk so you get extra milk. I remember doing that in the past with my Easy-O. So with the Easy-O, if you used UHT milk, you didn't even have to boil the milk. It was kind of done. That part of the process was done. And then it went into the warm container, and that worked. And I used to make it a bit thicker by adding some milk powder. So there's other things you can do. So, if you want to have a go at yogurt making, have a look on the internet and see what's going to suit you. If you already do lots of yogurt making, please do give me your thoughts in the comments below, and let me have your top tips really for making good yogurt. I'm going to invest, although I used a tea towel and it was fine, a cotton tea towel, but I think I'm going to invest in a proper piece of muslin to strain it with, because I use that as well. I get a couple. I use it for when I'm straining jelly, so I make red currant jelly or blackberry jelly sometimes, and it's nicer without all the pips, so that's why I prefer to make jelly. So yeah, you could do something like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So I think I can make my own Greek strained yogurt, and it is definitely cheaper, and there's something about making your own yogurt makes you feel very homespun, doesn't it, and self-sufficient. So I think I'll keep it up. Anyway, if I have any more luck or experiments, I'll let you know. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.